We spoke about before, we're going to welcome on another special guest. Christy Gray joins us from the Virginia Department of Health, specifically the Director of the Division of Immunization. Christy, thank you for joining us, taking a little time. I'm Connor, and it's wonderful to have you here.
Connor.
And as the Director of Immunization, I would imagine that this is a very busy time. The school year approaches. What is late August and early September like for you guys?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's buzzing with excitement, like I'm sure it is with all the schools and in our homes throughout Virginia, with kids getting ready to go back to school.
And as they get ready to go back to school, part of that is making sure that they are up to date on vaccines that are required in order for them to rejoin their classmates and go about their year. I don't know how expansive the list is. What are vaccines that children and teenagers need to be up to date on before going back to school?
Sure. Well, going back to school is a great time to check in with your pediatrician and dentist to make sure that you're setting your children up for success for the new school year. Your pediatrician can go over with you on what vaccines your child is due for. They can also go over different health-related screenings and answer any questions you have. A list of vaccines that are required for school is on our website. There are several, so I'm not sure if it's easier to point them to the website or list them, but for kindergarten, we protect against diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis, or whooping cough, hepatitis A and B, measles, mumps, and rubella, Haemophilus influenza type B, or commonly called Hib, pneumococcal, polio, and varicella, or chickenpox. Our seventh graders would be, again, getting a booster for that diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. They're also getting meningococcal and human papillomavirus, or HPV. And 12th grade is getting a booster for that meningococcal.
Christy, I am so sorry. I had fears that might be the case, where I just kind of walked you into having to read off an incredibly long list. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. And we'll also make sure that everybody knows that you can go to the VDH website and get all of that information. I want to start here. When it comes to just getting the requirements out there, regardless of how parents are feeling about getting vaccination, just having parents know what their kids need. Have you found that to be something that's difficult? Is it something that needs work, or is it widespread and everybody's able to get that information quickly and easily?
Oh, well, there's so much information out there, but there's also just a lot of things that parents are juggling between scheduling for sports physicals or just back to school supplies and signing kids up for clubs and different things beyond just making sure they're set up for the different academic of English and math and writing. And so it's important that parents know where they can go to find this information. Again, we really recommend talking to your child's pediatrician. They are the best person to ask about questions about your particular child's health care and decisions that need to be made. But our website is a great place that you can go and just see the listing right there and which ages those vaccines are needed for school.
And then even beyond, well, first of all, that's a great point, and maybe something that people may miss is that parents have so much to do during this time period. Adding, anything to that plate, obviously, it requires time, preparation, and a lot of information. So it's great that you guys are taking steps to do that. We know that even once everybody is informed about what is needed, as it stands right now, the current federal administration has targeted vaccines multiple times and from multiple departments. I'm wondering if you have found that there have been changes in vaccination rates over the course of the last few years.
Well, we're actually seeing across the nation and including Virginia and Eastern Virginia a decline in vaccination. It does vary by locality, but it's definitely a trend we're seeing across the country and here at home. Fortunately, Virginia does have high vaccination rates at the state level, but it is important that that is also in your community itself, where there might be pockets of vulnerability because of lower vaccination rates. And so we track vaccination rates here at the health department and want to make sure that people have the information they need to make those informed decisions.
And what are the concerns that you typically hear from parents as they make this decision?
Sure. So it's really important to listen and understand parents' concerns. It provides us an opportunity to acknowledge and validate those concerns while offering accurate scientific and evidence-based information about vaccines. By providing parents trusted information that can help them better understand the importance of vaccination and support those informed decisions to protect their children and the broader community. We do hear several different kinds of concerns. It varies by people, but it's important to note that most parents in Virginia decide to protect their children against vaccine preventable diseases through vaccination. And we encourage parents to continue to talk to their child's pediatrician because they will know their child best. What we do want to make sure is that parents understand that vaccines work and provide protection against serious and sometimes life-threatening illnesses. There can be mild side effects after vaccination, and it's generally a sign that the immune system is responding to that vaccine and building that protection against the disease. Really, vaccination prepares your body to recognize and fight the infection in case they are exposed to it in the future. In contrast, getting an actual disease carries much greater risk, including serious complications, hospitalization, and in some cases, death. So vaccines are studied extensively and have been found to be safe and effective, and we really want to work with parents to make sure they are getting all their questions answered and their concerns addressed.
Yeah, and one of those last few sentences that you said, the risks, the obvious risks and dangers that come with getting the disease itself, maybe is something that is glossed over too quickly from time to time, and now it's something that obviously your department is making sure to focus on based on your answer there. If this was a situation where there was a real decrease in vaccination rates, what kind of situation could we be looking at? I mean, are you able to paint a picture of what results that could lead to?
Well, when we have decreased vaccine coverage rates, it increases the chances for outbreaks of those vaccine preventable diseases. So any resurgence of a vaccine preventable disease is concerning. In the early 1900s, 1 in 5 children didn't live to see their 5th birthday. And that is not the case today, in large part due to childhood vaccines. Oftentimes, people forget that they exist. Vaccine preventable diseases still exist, but they haven't seen them or experienced them because of the success of vaccines. And this sometimes makes it difficult to appreciate the risks of disease and the important role that vaccines play in preventing them.
Is there anything that you can pinpoint as to what makes vaccines such sort of what has become really an easy target and an open target for this kind of scrutiny that we have seen here recently? What is it that makes this such an area of question for parents, and then, as we've seen again, for certain officials?
Yeah, unfortunately, vaccines have become the enemy of their own success. In some ways, the disease they protect against is no longer readily there to remind us of its danger. And so parents, like we discussed, are juggling a lot of things and are constantly assessing risk for their children, whether it is preparing for their license or getting the helmet to get on the bike. At different levels, parents are constantly assessing risk to their children, and nothing that we put in our bodies without risk. But vaccines have their studies of the vaccines have shown that the benefits far outweigh the risks associated with vaccines. And unfortunately, it's just, when the disease it's protecting against is not seen very often, people are less concerned about the disease. And so unfortunately, vaccines are it's a double-edged sword of they're very successful, but then people forget why we need them.
An enemy of their own success. That is, and a sort of an out of sight, out of mind situation here as well. Now, we talk about how vaccines have been a target, specifically of this particular federal administration that is in power right now. That includes 2 executive orders that came from the president impacting vaccines just a couple of weeks ago, executive orders that we covered here on this program. What does that mean for families here in Virginia? Will those particular executive orders have any impact on preparations for school and vaccine requirements?
The presidential executive order does not change vaccine recommendations or school immunization requirements in Virginia. School immunization requirements are set by Virginia legislators and placed in statute. There is no evidence to justify significant changes to the childhood immunization schedule or childhood immunization guidance as the executive order recommends. That is why VDH continues to recommend that children are vaccinated in accordance with the American Academy of Pediatrics 2026 Child and Adolescent Schedule. The evidence that supports that AAP immunization schedule is extensive, and we remain confident it's one of the best ways to help protect our children from serious preventable diseases.
Okay, and is there anything I haven't asked that's important to cover here, Christy?
Well, I just wanted to reiterate that this is an exciting time across the country, but also in Virginia of kids going back to school. But there's a lot of information out there, and it can be really confusing to parents. So we want to remind parents that vaccines play a vital role in keeping our children, our families, and our communities safe and healthy. We encourage parents to talk to their child's pediatrician if they have any questions about vaccines and which ones are recommended for their child. Pediatricians know your child best, and they're really they want to have this conversation and discuss this important topic with you. I do want to make sure that if you're a parent and you don't have a pediatrician for your child, please reach out to your local health department. They are part of your community, and they have access to lots of resources and really want to be there for you also. So please, if you don't have a pediatrician, please reach out to your local health department.
I think it's a great point, and I think it's really important to emphasize that as well, and I'll do so myself here, is that in the world of social media, gatekeepers have become less noticeable, and so there will be a lot of information out there. Parents will see and consume a lot of information, and you giving out those sources where you can go and ask questions about information you may have seen. There's nothing wrong with asking questions about things you've seen to your child's doctor, your child's pediatrician. And I think you brought up another great point, which is that pediatrician knows your child and you know them, and a relationship is there. And then if you are not able to have those resources, the Virginia Department of Health is a resource that you can go online or you can reach out to and speak with. So as you come across these headlines and these various posts and videos and things like that, take that information. If you have questions about it, go and ask those sources that you know you can trust. Christy, we appreciate you being a source and talking to us here on Live Impact News. Thanks for taking a little bit of time today. We appreciate it. We know how important this is, and we know, again, that school is approaching. It's an exciting time, and hopefully everyone can approach it safely.
Thank you so much for having me, and everybody have a great first day of school or first great few weeks if you've already been in school. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Christy. Again, that's Christy Gray, the Director of the Division of Immunization at the Virginia Department of Health, speaking about the approaching school year. What needs to be done to keep your kids safe, the requirements that are in place, and how to sort through a world where there can be so much information out there, who to lean on in order to make sure that you have all the best information for you and your family. So we appreciate Christy coming on and joining us for a little bit of time here today.